Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today is December 11th and today's a rough day. So I had a morning panic attack about 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock this morning, and I'm not feeling like myself today. So I just thought that I would record this, talk to you guys, vlog it, and I don't know, put it in the atmosphere, I guess. So let's talk about what happened and what went wrong and all of it. So I woke up this morning and my kids were a little rough. So my 1-year-old little boy decided he was going to take his diaper off and go number two. And it was all over his crib and all over everywhere. And I forgot to put pants on him whenever he went to sleep. And I woke up and I had to take care of that. And then I had to get my daughter ready for school and get her dressed. And today they had um, it's like a spirit week kind of thing, like drug awareness, how they do that. And they dress up and they have like different themes for every day. Well, this was the Christmas theme that they have every year. And today was dressed like a Christmas tree. So last night I sewed a really cute shirt and I got a green shirt and I sewed on like these ornaments or glitter and they're small. I got from Walmart and I sewed them on individually so they dangle all over her shirt, and she already had like this really cute red sequin skirt. So I took these little ornaments also from Walmart and they dangled at the bottom. That way it looked like a tree skirt and then there was presents underneath, and she had these red and green leggings and then gold sparkly boots. It was really cute. I put like a Christmas bow in her hair. She looked adorable. And if I was comfortable sharing pictures of my kids online, because there's people out there you can't always trust. So if I was comfortable with that, I would show you guys, but I can't. But just taking before, it was really cute. So I had to rush and get her ready, and I already woke up late. And then my 2-year-old was kind of whiny this morning, and then I had to make her a lunchbox and get her dressed, and then I got a phone call from my husband saying that he forgot his jacket while it was cold, and I was in the midst of trying to clean up the crib and trying to make sure we leave on time. And at my daughter's school, they only hold the door open in the mornings at like a certain point, and I think about like 7:20 something, 7:30, the adults that are like PTA members or teachers hold open the door for like the little kids because it's kind of an effort to pull it open. And so I always like to make sure that I get there before then because she she doesn't have to worry about being stuck outside. And since I have two other kids inside my car, I can't just leave them unattended. So it's always very important to me that I get there on time so that way she doesn't just get stuck there and have to worry about all that stuff. So yeah, it was just crazy. It was a lot of chaos this morning. And for me, for somebody like me who has already generalized anxiety disorder, it's being shook up, being rushed, having any kind of adrenaline spike, craziness, anything like that. It triggers me really bad. Now, when I get triggered with anxiety, my symptoms of anxiety that I get are in the intestinal region. They create a lot of discomfort and nausea and restroom visits and just a lot of things that mimic illness. So in itself, I was already getting worked up and I knew I wasn't feeling that great. But at this point, it was like controllable. Um, so I get my kids in the car and I'm just trying to do my thing. And I load up my husband's coat and I just trying to throw everybody in the car, get them locked in, get going. My daughter's already breaking stuff off of her outfit that I spent hours sewing on individually, like with a needle and thread. And it was a nightmare. So putting them in, getting in the car, trying to rush. It's foggy outside. My windshield is already frozen over, so I'm having to scrape my windshield. And I live in the South. Clearly, you can tell by my accent. And we don't normally get weather like this, so when we do, it's really inconvenient because we don't plan ahead. So I know that that's going to happen because it's such a rare occasion. So didn't think about that. So I'm sitting there having to deal with that, scrape my windshield off. My husband's calling, where you at, where you at? So I'm already getting stressed. I'm already getting to the point where my anxiety is rising. I'm rushing to do that. I have to check my banking account because my money switches over. I have like days where it switches automatically, and somehow, because I don't keep a lot in one of my accounts, so I looked at it because I was going to use that one for gas because I knew I needed some, and I was negative, so I had to do a whole bunch of things with that to clear that up, and that stressed me out because I was like, come on. So I don't like being in debt like that, so that bugged me, and I was trying to get to her school, and there was traffic. Where we live, there's like a big hill, so you can't see over the other side, so I'm always scared of getting in an accident. And it's foggy, so it just like makes it worse. And if somebody doesn't have their headlights on, and I get hurt, it's just a big deal. So long story short, we make it to her school. I drop her off. She was so excited, and she made it on time, and she looks really cute. And then I take off, and I call my husband. Can't reach him, so I'm like, okay, I'll go get gas. And I'm already hitting traffic, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a long morning. So I'm trying to rush so that way I can meet him at a shop because he works 30 minutes away from where I live. So sorry, I got a text. Group messages from PTA. Anyways, so I'm having to rush so that way I can meet him, and he's not having to wait and be cold outside. So then, I just had like a weird brain fart. Anyways, so I'm trying to rush to get there, and I go to get gas, and this is where the panic sets in. Mind you, all of this stuff has been happening, which usually my mornings are pretty typical. My kids are whining, they're crying, they want to drink, they're stressed out, they're tired, and we go to school, we come back. That's my mornings. So to me, that's like pretty typical, and I can handle it. What happened today, I think I worked myself up. So I go pump gas, and my stomach starts to hurt. And I'm like, oh no, like this is bad because when you have this phobia, I guess, and I'm just going to start, instead of just generalizing this whole phobia on everybody and just assume everybody's the same because they're not, I'm just going to start saying myself instead of just this phobia. So I'm going to correct myself. But for me, whenever I'm anxious, like I said, my stomach hurts and I get lots of mimicked symptoms of other things. So when I was pumping gas, I started to get stomach rumbles and gas. And this is so embarrassing to talk about, but it is what it is. I passed gas, and it didn't feel right. And I'm one of those people that am very in tune with my body, and I over observe it, I over critique it, and I am so obsessed with every symptom and everything that I feel because in some way I believe that I'm in control, and if something doesn't seem typical, then I'm automatically going to get sick. So I'm always scanning myself, and I'm always in pure terror of what I'm feeling. And whenever I felt like that, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is not good. This is not normal. So obviously something's wrong. Well, I knew I still needed to get to my husband's work regardless if I didn't feel well or if I was panicking or whatever because he's cold and he works outside, and it's not fair for him to have to suffer and me make an excuse because of my phobia. So I thought, well, yes, I know that I'm scared, and yes, I know I have this phobia, but I can't let my phobia control everything. Like, I have to at some point put my foot down and say, no, you're not going to win. You're going to do what you have to do, and you're going to push. So I went and I pushed myself, and I got that feeling again, and I passed gas again, and it was so uncomfortably painful, and it didn't smell that great. Like, I know that's gross, but it didn't smell that great. So I was like, oh gosh, like this is it. This is whatever. I'm going to be sick. Like, I know this is bad. I had a stomach virus like 3 weeks ago. Yeah. So I'm like, oh no, I I'm on Facebook and I talk to these groups, and they always say that, like, randomly your stomach could act up, and it's just because your body is trying to adjust back to its normal ways. So anything can trigger it. Anything that you eat, like, it could just happen. It's just random. There's nothing you can do about it. It's totally fine and normal. So of course my first thought was like, oh my gosh, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna get diarrhea. I'm gonna be out and about, and this is gonna be the worst. So automatically, I'm setting myself up for failure. So then I go and I get in the car and I'm driving and I'm on my way down there and I'm hitting the highway and my stomach starts to get these horrible cramps. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm right. Like, I'm not feeling good. This is horrible. I have my 2 children in the back, 1 and 2 years old. It's going to be impossible to put them into a public restroom. They're so gross in those restrooms. And I'm worried about germs. And I can't sit them in the floor. And if I do have diarrhea, I'm going to be so frozen with fear that I'm not going to want to leave. So it's going to be horrible. So I'm just going to have to rush. I'm just going to have to just speed and get there and just drop off the jacket and come back. Like, I just don't have a choice. So I tell myself, like, yes, you're sick. You're already sick. You know you are. So just, let's go. So I'm not only stressed out, having negative thoughts, placing negative thoughts into the atmosphere, and already setting myself up for failure. But now I'm putting more anxiety on top of what I'm already thinking because I'm rushing myself. So there's you get what I'm saying? Things are starting to add up, right? So I'm rushing there, hitting traffic, and I'm like, oh, no, no, no. More panic, more negative thoughts, more thinking like, I'm not going to make it. I'm going to be horrible. My stomach's hurting. I'm going to get sick. Like, I'm going to be stuck in the bathroom. I'm going to have an accident in my car. Like, I was just thinking all these horrible things. And I could feel my heart rate going up. I could feel my stomach churning. I could feel my breathing getting really short. Hang on. I have a cough. I'm sorry. So I could feel myself, like, just getting a panic attack or anxiety attack already. And I'm missing my turns. I don't know where I'm at. It's foggy. I don't really remember where my husband's work's at because I've only been there once. So I'm trying to find it, and I take the wrong turn. So I'm trying to figure out where I'm at. I'm trying to call him. I don't have service. And I'm already getting flustered because I'm like, oh no, if I'm sick and I'm stuck in the middle of nowhere and my stomach hurts and I get diarrhea, I'm in my car, have my kids, do a pull over? A pull over and just, like, drop my pants and just have it? Like, what do I do? Like, I don't know. And honestly, being an adult, even a kid, I've never experienced that, like, where I had an accident in the car. Not that I can remember. So, I was really scared. I didn't know what to do. And so he calls me back and he's like, hey, where you at? I told him I missed my turn. He's like, oh, I just passed you. I know where you're at. Just, I don't know. And I'm like, where are you? I'll meet you. I just have to hurry. And I didn't tell him why yet. And he's like, oh, well, meet me at this gas station, which is, like, a few miles down the road. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I bust a Yui, go down, hit every green light, thank the Lord, because my stomach is really hurting and I'm really starting to think something bad is going to happen. Well, then I get to the gas station and my stomach is telling me, girl, you've got to do. You have to right now. If you don't do it right now, you're going to miss. So I'm like, okay, things are ready. Things are knocking. Gotta go. So I call him. I'm like, hey, where you at? He's like, oh, I'm just down the road a little bit. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I'm freaking out. I'm like, you have to hurry. Like, my stomach hurts. Things are happening. Told him what was going on. Told him I had to go to the bathroom, and I felt like I was going to have an accident. I was like, please hurry, please hurry. So he finally gets there. He's in this huge work truck, so he can't speed. He's in, like, this big, big truck. So he pulls up and he's like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, here, just take your jacket. And I throw it at him. I'm like, give me a hug. I gotta go. Like, I'm not going to do it here because I hate the fear of being sick in public. I hate, like, it's paralyzing. It's to the point where, like, I can't function. Sorry guys, I really need to turn this on silent. Anyways, so that's my fear. Like, if I get diarrhea or I throw up, okay, and I'm out and about, I'm afraid that I'm not, like, my body is gonna just, explode or combust, and I'm going to be stuck. My fear is going to be frozen. I'm not going to be able to get out. I'm going to have my kids. I can't leave. I'm going to be way too scared. I'm not going to make it home. I'm going to be embarrassed. Like, I'm just scared of that. So, I didn't want to do that at the gas station. And if somebody's in there and I'm standing up and, I really, really need to go, I could have an accident in my pants. And if it was diarrhea, like, that would be horrible. That'd be traumatic. So I just decided, you know what, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to hold it and I'm going to go home, which, mind you, I live 30 minutes out of the way of where I was. So I'm already freaking out. Panic's already, at the tippy top. And I get in the car and I'm hauling, all the way home. And I know I'm breaking the law, but I was speeding and I was like, I gotta go. So I'm hitting traffic. It's foggy still, trying to make it home. My kids are whining in the back. I'm trying to bob and weave through the traffic, trying to get home so that way I can go to the bathroom. And I'm like, if I get pulled over right now, I'm screwed. Because, one, I'm going to have to explain to them, like, hey, I'm going to my pants and I gotta go now, so I don't mean to rush, but I have to go to the bathroom and I'm really scared. Like, I don't feel well and it'd be a whole thing. And I can't afford a ticket right now. Like, I'm broke, so I can't afford a ticket. And so I'm trying to get there to the house and I could feel in my stomach like rumbling. I could feel like like when you're really clenching to like hold it in and you're praying to the gods, praying to all the gods that you can think of, that things stay intact and I make it till I get home and just let me be able to make it home. So I get to the house, or before I get to the house, I'm hitting every red light, okay? Kid you not. Behind the slowest drivers in traffic, people not paying attention, hitting every red light. I mean, it's a cluster. So I am hurting. Like, I'm clenching every muscle in my body because I've already convinced myself already from the get-go, I have diarrhea. Like, I'm going to be sick. I'm going to be in the bathroom forever. This is it. Like, I've been driving around. I'm not going to make it. And I don't even know if it's diarrhea. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm sick. I mean, how would you really know unless you go? Like, yes, there are times whenever you're sick and, like, you can tell. But this was one of those where it's like, I don't really know. I'm just assuming that I'm going to be sick because I've already told myself I am. So, I finally make it home, pull my kids out of the car as fast as I can, rushing them throughout the door, go to the restroom, wait, nothing happens. Nothing happened. So I'm sitting there and I feel nauseous, my stomach hurts, and then it happens. And it's just back to back. So finally, everything is done. Terrified the entire time. My stomach hurts. It feels like when you take a rag and you're just like turning it. That's what my stomach felt like. I was like, I'm going to be sick. I'm going to be sick. I feel like somebody turned around, took their gloves off, and cold cocked me right in the stomach. So I'm sitting there lunged over. My 1-year-old is in his little Johnny jumper thing, and he's crying because he doesn't understand like where mommy is. He can't see me. And, he can tell that I'm stressed and, like, there's something going on. Like, he can feel it, but he doesn't understand. So I think that kind of made him nervous. So he's sitting there stressed out crying. My 2-year-old's underneath my feet watching me and, like, all up in my business. And it's, when you're having the panic attack thinking, oh, my gosh, am I sick? Am I sick? Am I sick? Is this when it happens? Is this a starting thing? Oh, my gosh, I almost didn't make it. That was so scary. Like, everything is processing at this point because I'm at the come down. I'm at home. I'm in my safe place. I'm in my own home. I'm in my own restroom. Everything is content because I made it. But I think just the overall fear of not being able to make it freaked me out so bad. So that creates, more of a panic attack. So now I'm at the point where I can't breathe. My stomach hurts. Everything's shaking. I'm terrified. Can't think clearly. Feeling this sensation of like, almost when you're not real. I don't know the word for it. It's like you're there, but you're not alive. Like you're in your body, but you almost feel like detached from yourself. Like you're kind of dreaming. That's how I felt. everything just felt like really, really scary and too much. And I couldn't think and I didn't know what to do. And I swore I was going to be sick. I tried calling my husband, and it's not like he can do anything, but it just sometimes for me, it's nice to call someone because I need that reassurance of like that I'm okay, I'm not going to get sick, like it's fine. But then I also have this fear of like, if I call someone and talk to them, are they going to make fun of me? Are they going to laugh at me? Are they going to get mad because I can't stop asking if I'm okay? You know, it's just, I always wonder these things. So, that was hard. And finally it came down and I realized in conclusion that I caused this myself. So, yeah. All right, a yawn. I don't want to yawn with my mouth open on camera. But basically, the reason I told this over TMI, extremely detailed, ridiculously crazy, hectic story is for a reason. We tend to think the worst thing. I mean, it just is what it is. We tend to think the worst thing possible. And we assume that everything that we feel means that we've caught some sort of stomach virus or that we've caught some sort of bug or something wrong with us. And most of the time it's not. It has nothing to do with that at all. It's just that we automatically assume that we are at the worst point, you know, and it's really hard for this phobia because a lot of us want to be in control. We want to know that it's going to be okay. And it's hard because you can't control it. If I were to have a fear of bugs or water, like the ocean, or cats, spiders, heights, those are things that you could choose or avoid. You can choose not to go to the ocean or get into the ocean. You can avoid running into a shelter with cats. You can prevent flying if you choose to. But to have a phobia of something that is a body function, something that your body does to protect itself and to cleanse itself, and you have no control over that. And it's really scary for this phobia. It's really scary for people like us because not a lot of people can understand what that's like. And you hear all the time, like, oh, yeah, I don't like to get sick. I don't like to throw up. I don't like to get diarrhea. Well, we don't like it either, but the difference is that we are petrified because it's uncontrollable. It's out. Sometimes it's out of nowhere. You cannot diagnose yourself. You don't know the cause. You don't know if it's going to happen again or what you did to cause it the first time. It's the physical pain that you feel when you get it. It's the adrenaline of it. For me, there's so many things about, like, if I were to throw up, okay, for instance, it's the fact that the pain, the buildup, it's the symptoms that you get before you get sick, like the shaking, the sweating, the nervousness, all of that. The the pain that you feel when it happens, the clenching, that's really scary for me, and it's painful. Um, and then the sound is really scary because it sounds really, really scary. It sounds violent. It sounds loud. Um, the sensation of doing it is so almost unpredictable. It's very, like, very urgent, I guess, and like it just comes out, like it shoots out, and that is scary to me because I can't control it. The the taste of it really scares me because when I have a moment where I've been sick, I can't erase that out of my head, and it affects like every meal, and it affects everything I drink and whenever I burp and brush my teeth. And it's just like it's like this permanent thing that's engraved in my head, and I can't get it out. The cleanup scares me. The fact that I don't know if it's going to happen again. All of it. All of it scares me. And the fact that I'm going to be embarrassed if I'm out and about, just everything about it is terrifying. So doing this was really hard for me. I'm so proud of myself because I still did what I had to do. I didn't give up. I didn't call my husband and say, hey, I can't make it. I'm sorry. You're going to have to work in the cold. Like, I just don't feel good. Because he would never do that to me. He would never, ever hesitate to bring me something if it helped. He would never tell me no. He would love me unconditionally. He would tell me that he has my back. And it's important for me to show that same compassion and that same love for the people that I love and that love me back. So I couldn't let my phobia control me this time, and I couldn't let it tell me that I couldn't do something. So I did it, and I'm very, very proud of myself for that. And I'm proud of myself for trying. I'm proud of myself for making it home and not having an accident. I'm proud of myself for facing my fear and still doing what my body needed it to do. I'm proud of myself for eating breakfast after everything that happened and taking care of my kids. I'm proud. It was really scary and it was hard, and I assumed the worst, but I learned a lot. I learned that I can make it. I learned my, sensations that I had and how scary they were, and remembering that it's not always as bad as I think it is. And even though I had what I swore was the feelings that mimicked having diarrhea, turns out I didn't have it at all. And I got home and I cleaned myself out, so to speak, and I had a panic attack and it went away. And I haven't been to the bathroom since. I've had breakfast. I have played with my kids and took care of my kids, and I'm vlogging. So, in a way, even as scary as it was, I survived it. And I'm really, really proud of myself. I'm tired. I could nap for hours, but I am proud of myself. So, before you think that you can't do something, just remember you'll be all right. It is scary, and you have every right to feel the way that you do, and the symptoms that you feel are real, and everything that you feel is justified, and it's going to pass. And sometimes it's not even as scary as you thought it was going to be, and that's cool. I mean, I really thought I was going to be sick, and I wasn't. I was perfectly fine. So, I'll see you guys in the next vlog. Bye.